My name is Steve Rankel, and I'm the creator of the Value Storytelling System. And I want to tell you a story. In the heart of the Depression, in Painted Post, New York, a gentleman needed to feed his family. And so what he had to do is he needed to go get a job in sales. And so what he decided to do is to go get a job selling the one product he knew he could sell and that would generate lots of cash for his family if he was successful. The product? Pianos. I know what you're thinking. Selling pianos in upstate New York in the heart of the Depression? That's crazy. And you're probably right. But what this young man had to learn was sizzle and service. And he learned it. And he learned it by telling stories and by indicating to the people who were buying their pianos for their children or their families what the value was. Wouldn't it be great for your kid to be able to learn the discipline of piano? Wouldn't that set them up well, even if the depression doesn't lift, with the hard work and the tenacity? What about the joy this will bring to your family as you go through this very difficult time? And he learned that. He went on to found an incredible company with an incredibly powerful sales force. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But what I want to tell you about is what I discovered and how fortunate I am that I had a very similar set of experiences early on in my career. You see, I went from consulting straight into selling. And there is nothing quite like sales to teach you that if you don't make the sale, if you don't communicate the value in the language of the customer of whatever you're selling, in a way that moves this particular prospective customer to action, you may not pay your mortgage this month. That focuses you down. And so I want to share with you the two concepts, the major concepts behind value storytelling. First of which is value, an elusive concept, which Oscar Wilde said, a fool knows the price of everything but the value of nothing. Value changes based on timing and circumstances. And in truth, value is different for you and it's different for me. But in there, there's a key. The only person who can tell what they value the most and how they value your product the most is a customer, someone who bought it already. So the key for you and for me in being successful and in discovering this system was to figure out how to vacuum the customer's brain, reverse engineer from them what they valued in the buying process. And the second concept is story and storytelling. Stories are how human history has passed. Stories are what we pass around the dinner table, and they're what actually moves relationships and awareness and even understanding and study. Great, Steve. Wonderful. Now you're telling us something we already know. Yes, but let me explain to you something else about that. And that is this. Stories move the limbic brain, the frontal brain. They somehow touch both our heads and our hearts, the right and left brain, in a way that captures our imagination, holds it, and moves us to take some action. Remember for a second, if you would, the last time someone told you a story. What did you do? They said, hey, let me tell you a story about so-and-so. You stop breathing. You lean in. You go, what am I thinking about this? What is he going to say to me? And then you hear it, and it goes in. And after you've listened to it, you decide whether or not you agree or disagree, but not before. People can push away your product. They'll resist your ROI, and they'll ignore your guarantees, but they are powerless to resist your value stories. The value storytelling system, and what I've discovered, and you can learn more about on this site, and I hope you'll join us in this movement, is about telling and sharing the language with your customers that move them to action, the stories that actually help them understand what benefit they'll get from your product. Not just ROI, not just metrics, not just features and functions, because all those things are logical and they will distance the customer from you. They're left brain oriented, not right brain oriented. But the exact words, language, and magic stories that won your best customers, that you shared with them in the buying process, either on purpose or by accident, that moved them to take buying action. Now, there's a lot of resources here. I want to welcome you, and I want to share with you finally the name of that young man who sold pianos in Painted Post, New York during the heart of the Depression. Tom Watson. He founded an incredible company that was known for the power of its sales force, IBM. This is just one example of how value storytelling and how you communicate what you sell with your customer can transform your sales, your marketing, and even in Tom's life, his own life and his family's life forever. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy and welcome to Value Storytelling.